YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host TKK and we are back with another video. Guys, today I have the privilege of bringing you a review of my brand new Victrix arcade stick. Now this one is going to be very similar to the previous Victrix arcade stick that we reviewed. I'll go ahead and card that in if you guys haven't checked it out. It was all white and it had the traditional form factor of a stick. This is, however, an arcade stick that does not. So what I mean is that this has directions of up, down, left, right, but it's all buttons. Some of you may refer to this as a hitbox. That was a company that made arcade sticks that didn't have the traditional sticks, and so it became very popular. And so before I get started with the actual review and the unboxing and everything of this, I want to take a brief moment to let you guys know what kind of content you can expect to see going forward in the future. So I do have a couple of these, right? First, we got the Oki board. This video should be live on the Arcade Sticks YouTube channel. I'll link a link in the description of this video to their channel. I'll be doing the full review of this thing. I'll be taking you guys through the things I liked and the things I didn't like. This is a beautiful arcade stick that was sent to me some months ago, and I had promised those guys that I would get around to creating the content, but you know, things just got so busy with me making TV videos around the time when I received it. That's what happened there. So you can expect that on their channel probably next week. But I also have, wait till you see this baby, which is very similar in a lot of ways, right? This is a custom Evo limited edition stick, right? Directionless in the way of not having an actual stick. You got directions for buttons on this thing. So going to be a review of this guy also on my channel. This is going to be done for TKK for you guys, and this is going to be done for the arcade stick. Again, check them out, go ahead and subscribe to them. Very good people. They sent me this stick, and it was sent to me with review purposes, and then the guy was just like, hey, you know what, you can go ahead and hold on to it. So I will be fulfilling my obligations to get the good quality review of this quality stick on the channel. So right after I roll my intro, we're gonna get right into this guy right here. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. I do appreciate you guys returning back to the channel for the regular content. This is all about TKK, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you like the video. If you've liked the video, give us some decent watch time to see what I'm all about. I tend to like to do different things. So this is going to be a video that I've done a mini of. Now, I want to open this up by just telling you guys what to expect here. I expect this to be packaged pretty much similarly to the white arcade stick that they provide that I had recently featured. If you haven't seen that one, you can check it out. This is going to be a little bit different because this will be the first of its kind of a product that I am featuring on my channel for an actual review. And so ironically, over the course of many months, this video is going to have some talking time. So you can hang around, you can skim through or do whatever you please. But over the last few months with me having the Oki board that I featured in the channel, it's been extremely hard for me to make time and to learn how to play with that stick. It's very frustrating for me being such an older player. I am definitely one that likes to be comfortable in, to have the muscle memory of what I'm familiar with using. Man, this thing is in here tight. I don't want to actually crack the box, but let me get this thing open. I've never seen a pull tab that was so aggressively stuck. But again, you know, this type of a product, having an arcade stick, not with your traditional stick where you're up, down, left, right, and you've got your directions all in between. It has been extremely humbling for me to have to figure out how to do combos and things like that. And so this conversation about what is the better stick to use really comes down to personal preference. You know, I would say that this is almost as difficult for people transitioning over from a controller, traditional D-pad controller, to keyboard and mouse if you're playing like first-person shooter games. And ultimately, like when you make the transition, you got to think about it. In the analogy I just used, you're going from using your thumb to move around and navigate, both of your thumbs, to your whole entire wrist, right? 4 fingers or 3 fingers navigating around, right? Your directions and your wrist, being your head. And so again, getting off a controller with that reference, using the keyboard and mouse, you have so much control. That's pretty much what this is. This puts you in a position where, when you really think about like where we came from, from the beginning. I mean, I have big blue arcade machines, just playing on those things. And it's just like the weight of them allow you to be so aggressive, and you had to be aggressive, and your movements excuse me, to be able to execute and to articulate whatever it is your brain was registering. It was like you had to put some physical work into it. You leave the arcade feeling like you left the gym because your forearms are hurting. I can remember feeling like I had carpal tunnel. Imagine getting a 50 game or 30 game win streak on Capcom versus SNK2. I mean, where, you've got people playing either, just like long games, right? Long game periods. And so the evolution of the arcade stick has been one that's been masterful. We went through this whole thing. If you haven't seen my overhaul video, where we got the Mass arcade systems. Mass was a company that did exist, and now they've kind of got the relaunch coming. Those arcade sticks were like legitimate hardware from the arcade. Stick, buttons, and then big wood material. And so playing with them things on the lap, not possible. Not for the average person, at least. I'm sure there's some brainiac out there that figured out, a way that they can make the stick really loose. But the point is, in the arcade, that form factor with the machine being so big, you had to work into your execution. So as we go on in life, and I'm talking to you while I'm doing this, we get to a point where we get the Japanese products finally over here in the States. And they become mainstream. This is around 2008, 2009, when Street Fighter 4 is coming to us. We get a company like Mad Catz that figures it out. Hey, let's get these guys these sticks. They got sound with buttons. And so now we can legitimately play with these sticks on our laptop, like in that form factor. And it's just absolutely amazing. Let me go ahead and turn this thing around. This thing is beautiful, and give you guys a look at this. Okay, and so the unboxing portion of this video is not really relevant. If you don't know, Victrix did their own thing. They had a whole run of the limited edition arcade sticks. They have their own stick, and then they did that. And now it looks like they partnered up with PDP. Maybe they've been acquired or whatnot, but the product quality remains intact. Okay. These arcade sticks go for $400 retail. The last run were extremely limited. And let me tell you this, everything that they put into how they build these things is just extremely top notch. And this looks to be no different, right? So here's just a look at the bottom of the stick. You do get this, this is like a foamy, like padded material. The Victrix, this indent is their logo. So that's really nice there. The bottom, this is a padded material too, but it's more rubberized. That flows through here. They've got these openings here for you to be able to grab your stick. Little latch right here opens you up to a beautiful cable management that they have. It's almost like proprietary. It's just amazing. And like the last stick that I reviewed right here, they do have a switch that allows you to run this thing on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, or PC. So this is legitimately designed to run on a PlayStation 5 with PlayStation 5 games. When you plug this thing up, there's some illumination, like a lighting strip that goes throughout here. Right, and then that does follow on this side too. So you have some illumination there, and then you can toggle through hitting one of the buttons, and it will give you some lighting options. This is a really, really nice. Now, what I did not know, because this is my first time seeing it, guys, I try not to watch reviews from others, especially if I know I'm going to get my hands on a product. The buttons on this are smaller. And what I mean by smaller, let me get my other stick just so I can give you a reference. And there's a look at the purple. There's the white. Buttons are larger. I don't have the stick installed in there. I like the way that they've designed their sticks, where the actual joystick can be removable so that if you need to stack it or travel, you can do such. But man, this is beautiful. Got your directions for left, down, right, and then up. The up button is larger, so it's your traditional size that your other buttons would be. All of these are going to be the same. This is, oh man. I like the way that they have designed this thing. Okay, and so as I said, you know, the quality of their product hasn't dipped any. If there were any questions about if the whole PDP reference has changed, that has not been a thing at all. Just looking at the aesthetic differences, I don't see much. Obviously, the lettering, your cross, your circle, your square and triangle are larger, as well as your R2, R1, L2, L1 are larger. It's a smaller footprint on here, and it makes sense. I really like the way that this stick is designed. This is done pretty masterful. And as I was talking about earlier, the evolution of the arcade stick just as a whole, like, you know, for me, I don't like playing with an arcade stick that has a traditional joystick like this guy right here on my lap. I mean, it's a doable, definitely, because the newer the current technology that we're using, the Sanwas and the other options, the like thereof them, make it where you can control very simplistic and you don't have to be like on top of it, you know. But what if I want to play with something like one of my Victrix arcade sticks? Those things are like massive. They're literally about the length almost of both of these put together, how I have them. That's not a comfortable fit in my opinion. So what I'm essentially getting at is that I play with tabletops and that's fine. This, however, this is legitimately on your lap experience. Can you play with it on a tabletop? Of course you can, absolutely. But you can also play fighting games with a keyboard and mouse too. This tells you that you can, like literally, or not a keyboard and mouse, but with a keyboard. But this is a device that, you know, you would travel with this, and this is literally what's going to be on your lap. Now, I'm not as good as I would like to be with one of these types of sticks, but I am certainly even more motivated now to go ahead and get myself extra well versed. But just the craftsmanship of this thing and how it's designed and how it feels, it's just, this feels like a definitive product. Honestly, it really does. It's almost as if like playing with this, with the curvature and just how sleek this is and it's the way that they've designed it, it feels like it's literally meant for you just to have two open hands for you to be able to play in this fashion. Now, not to speak against this, because this is done perfectly. And again, if you're like me and you've been playing on this since like '89, you know, I go all the way back to the sensor buttons, to be honest with you, '88, '89, Street Fighter 1, and then arcade games way before then. But trying to play with the intentions of trying to win, we've come so far, but this is a beautiful, beautiful evolution of how we play. Let's take it to some gameplay. Nothing too crazy, but whenever I do these videos, I like to at least, you know, attempt to play something. In the description of this video, I am going to link my gaming channel, in which we'll start putting out some more content in the beginning of the year. Also, if I get one person that tells me they're interested in me making a video talking about what my life has been like gaming away from a desktop, because I have my gaming PC and I play in the living room pretty much. Anyway, right now the stick that I have that I am using is the Victrix. It's been featured on the channel. Amazing stick, amazing. Pretty much a carbon copy of using like the arcade stick, the arcade cabinet that they have. And so what I'm gonna do is just attempt to, you know, mess around with a couple of these characters in Dragon Ball Fighters. And I will then switch over to using the Victrix arcade stick that does not have a joystick. And so just to give you kind of like an initial impression of what it's like, because I'm not well versed with using that style of a device. So traditionally, I like playing in a position where, you know, if I'm going to play with an arcade stick, again, as I said, previous transition, this stick is wide. I don't set it on my lap. I play with this table. I'm also thinking about doing a review on this table and chair too. This is a damn good table. But I digress. I don't like playing with this thing on my lap because it's so wide. I don't want the weight on me. And then I feel like I have to move around and you know, I just like to have something that's going to be, you know, positioned and just set really good for me. So let me modify these buttons. Just want to get some muscle memory down. Yeah, so we should be good there. Let me go ahead and switch over to the Victrix and see how this feels. All right, when you plug this thing up, you're met with beautiful illumination on top. This purple contrast is really, really nice. Very nice, guys. As I was saying, you've got some illumination down through there. So just like with the other products, maybe they change your, you can change your colors. Yeah, this is really nice. Set that on purple. PC's gonna pick it right up. If you're playing on the console, just have it set to that before you do switch it over. Let's get to some gameplay on it. Man, I'm telling you, this thing feels great. I don't think that, you know, the tabletop experience for this is going to be optimal, in my opinion. You know, just because I feel like you are essentially probably taking away from control that you need to have. You know, the immediate thing that you have to get used to is just the fact that your down button is actually up and your up button is in the middle, right? Like that takes some getting used to. So just like the general navigating of things is just, it's a little wonky when you get there. And I do personally feel like this is one of those situations like where, you know, once you go there, you don't really turn back. You don't really go back, but you may have to have, kind of like I was trying to say earlier, like when you're going from playing a controller to a keyboard and mouse, I think one of the best options on PC to do is just to have them both plugged in. And with most games, you can just move the controller and the controller's gonna work, or you can move the mouse and the keyboard and mouse is gonna work. So you can develop that muscle memory, like what you're familiar with doing on the controller, you can essentially do with the keyboard and mouse. So something like that might work better. Yeah, so for me, the immediate thing is the directions. It's the down and the up that's the most tricky. It will take some getting used to, definitely. But clearly, you know, there's a market for this, and some of your best players in the world that play these games at a competitive level are going to be getting familiar with this, and they already are familiar with this. So like your Diagos and I think Sako, these are Japanese players. They play with this predominantly, like the hitbox style is what they use. For me though, I'm a fish out of water right now, but we're gonna get better at this. So this is gonna be a whole slew of different content on the gaming channel coming next year. We're in December, obviously, around this type of stuff. But I truly wanna know what you guys think about this. It's a beautiful work of art. The price premium, in my opinion, worth it. I got into some conversations with some people in the previous one, and they thought, you know, maybe this wasn't worth the $400. My opinion, it comes out to be worth it. You know, maybe this could have been like $50 cheaper just because there is no sound with stick there, like physical stick there. But everything else with this, the craftsmanship, the licensing, everything, the fact that it works on PS5. Like, I know that if you were building a stick using like Brooks' situation to get like the conversion kit that you need to be able to, you know, get things to work on PS5 like natively, it's like an extra $60 added on. So it's not the cheapest thing in the world getting that uniformity and functionality, but this thing works really well, feels good. And if you're already acclimated with it, I feel like this is probably like some of the higher echelon of this type of arcade stick that doesn't have your traditional joystick on the market. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. If you like this video, leave a thumb up. If you got some questions, some comments, some things you'd like me to test, maybe going forward, if you'd like to also hear about what it's like gaming on a PC, but not on the desk. All my sons, they still play on desks. I no longer play on a desk, and I will make content about that. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace. God bless. Max love.